Hey everyone, and welcome back to Linguist Rising. Today, we are jumping right into Unit 5 of the Alif Baa textbook. And let me tell you, this is a big one. This is where we really start to add those layers of nuance that will make your Arabic sound so much more authentic and natural. So, are you ready to level up? Because Unit 5 is all about that. We're going to get into some new, kind of tricky sounds that are absolutely key to sounding less like you're reading from a script and more like you're actually speaking the language. And just as important, we're going to learn the words for being polite, which honestly is the secret to having smooth, respectful, and successful conversations. Okay, first things first, we've got to train our ears and our mouths. In this first part, we're focusing on pronunciation. We'll look at one tiny little symbol that has a huge effect, and then two pairs of letters that, can really trip people up when they're starting out. Nailing these is a total game changer, I promise. So meet the shadda. See that little W shape sitting on top of a letter? That is the shadda. Its job is super simple, but so powerful. It just tells you, hey, double this consonant. You hold the sound for just a beat longer, you give it a little more emphasis. And this isn't just for show, it can completely change the meaning of a word. Now, for us English speakers, this is a really important mental shift we have to make. In English, when we see a word like little, that double T doesn't mean we say lit-ul. It actually just changes the vowel sound before it. But in Arabic, nope, it's totally different. The shadda means you literally hang on to that consonant sound for a second longer. That's the key. Okay, let's hear the difference. It's pretty clear once you listen for it. So first, without a shadda, we have tajid. Hear that? Tajid. It's a quick, light D sound. Now listen to the same word with a shadda. Tajad. You hear that little hold, that emphasis on the D? Tajad. That one little pause completely changes the word. Why don't you try it? First, tajid. Good. And now, tajad. Awesome. All right, great job. Now that we've got the hang of the shadda, let's move on to our next challenge. We're going to look at something called emphatic consonants. Basically, for some sounds, there's a light version made at the front of your mouth, and then a deeper, heavier version that's produced way further back. So our first pair is seen versus sod. Seen is the saw sound you already know, right? Like in the word snake. It's light, it's airy, but sod is a deep, heavy S that comes from farther back in your throat. And listen how it changes the entire vibe of a word. With the light sa, we have sa'ar, but with the heavy sa, it's sar. Did you hear how that heavy S sound kind of pulls the vowel down with it, making it sound richer? That's the effect of an emphatic. And our next pair works exactly the same way. We have dal versus dod. So dal is your standard everyday d sound, like in dog, right at the front of the mouth. But to make the dod sound, you have to flatten your tongue a bit, make it deeper. Let's listen. The light one is dal. And now the emphatic one, dal. It's subtle, I know, but it's so important. And hey, don't worry if this one feels weird at first. It takes everyone a little practice to get it right. You are doing amazing with those sounds. Seriously. So now, let's take all that hard work and put it into practice. For part 2, we're shifting gears. We're moving from just making sounds to using actual words and phrases that you're going to use in real life, especially when it comes to just being polite and navigating social situations. All right, let's build a little story here. Imagine you take the autobus, the bus, to get to your fasl, your classroom. Now class is over, and you need to say goodbye. The most common way to do that is ma'as salama. It literally translates to with peace. Isn't that just a beautiful way to say goodbye? Okay, so picture this. You're still in the classroom, you're about to leave, and you want to excuse yourself politely. What do you say? This is a really nice cultural touch. You'd say ana idnak to a man or ana ithnik to a woman. What you're really saying is by your permission, which is just such a respectful way to exit a room. And we're going to continue right on with that theme of politeness because these words are absolute must-haves. You've got shukran for thank you, and the classic reply is afwan for you're welcome. If you need to say please, it's min fadlik. And to say sorry, you'd say asif if you're a guy or asifa if you're a woman. Now, out of all these great politeness words, there is one that is it's like a conversational Swiss Army knife. Seriously. It's this one little word that can mean so many different things depending on the situation, and it's all about hospitality and being welcoming. You absolutely have to know this one. And that magic word is itfaddal. The real beauty of it is how versatile it is. Now, you will change the ending, so it's اتفضلي for a woman, اتفضلوا for a group of people, but the core meaning just adapts. Is someone at your door? اتفضل means please come in. Are you offering them a chair? اتفضل means please have a seat. Are you handing them a cup of tea? اتفضل means here you go. It's just an incredible, essential word for showing hospitality. Whew! We have covered a ton of ground in a really short amount of time. We've wrestled with some pretty complex sounds, and we've learned some incredibly useful social vocabulary. So now it's time for your mission, turning all this knowledge into an active skill you can actually use. So before we wrap up, let's just take a second and look at everything you've accomplished. You now know how to pronounce the shadda. You can hear and say the difference between those tricky sa and da sounds, and you have the core words you need to take your leave and be polite in a conversation. I mean it, that is a huge leap forward in your Arabic journey. Be proud of that. So, my final question for you is this. What's the first new thing you're going to practice today? Language only really becomes yours when you start using it. So pick one thing, maybe the shadda, maybe a politeness phrase, and just say it out loud a few times. Make it your mission. Thanks so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you next time.